God bless everyone. Welcome to my page, where I bring to you some crazy Reddit stories and rants that I came across. Please enjoy.
Creepy guy at gym. I'm a 19-year-old gym girly who loves working out at night. Usually I go with my brother to avoid the creeps, but yesterday I went alone. At night there aren't as many people, so if someone is harassing you, it's hard for others to notice. There was this one guy in particular who would always trap me in a conversation, and I would avoid him for this reason. He was old as hell, short, and his breath was pungent. Is that a word? I don't know. Anywho, I only had an hour before the gym closed, and before he started yapping, I said, "Hey, I only have an hour, I'm gonna just do my set." Basically telling him to politely back off. He full-on ignored me and kept on yapping, inching closer and closer. By this point, the girl behind him was mouthing if I was okay, and I felt so uncomfortable. He was literally kneeling inches away from me, and I felt trapped. I told him multiple times to go, and I even had my headphones on doing hip thrusts, and he was still talking. After my set, I got up and walked to the water fountain. I was so frustrated, I almost cried. I set boundaries and he just didn't listen to me. The girl from before checked on me and she was genuinely so sweet. Here's to say I'm never going to the gym without my brother again. First comment, call the police if you have told him multiple times. You are paying to attend the gym, no need to change conversation. Also, record him telling you to leave you alone. Second comment, tell staff ASAP. Or start recording after you've told him to fuck off. Catch yourself telling him to fuck off again and him ignoring you again on video. Then show that to the staff. Make a scene. Be difficult. Fuck that guy for real. Leave me the fuck alone. Thanks then, zero eye contact and notify staff. Third comment, that's super shitty. If you have to speak to him again, you should be very clear with him that you're there for a reason and that these kind of interactions make you uncomfortable because as wild as it sounds, it definitely is possible. He just isn't getting the hint. A lot of guys don't understand nuance and subtlety, so you have to be extremely direct. If he isn't getting it, and if it's a recurring issue, you should definitely let the staff know. One time is one thing, but after you've been clear and direct that it makes you uncomfortable, then the staff and other humans around you have a social responsibility to separate you two.
Next story.
I discovered my police were running a protection racket, and everyone ignores it. So I have a neighborhood bar on my block that changed hands a few years back and started getting wild. After being harassed, robbed, and an attempted burglary while I slept, I installed cameras. I start sending the police videos of fights, car crashes, and shootings. It's not until a year later that I get a subpoena that my state ag wants to go after a shooter that unloaded a clip into a crowd in front. While I'm talking with the case investigators, I find out that the police report omits the part about the customers and bartender going around to pick up the casings from the shooting they didn't report. I also find that a victim went to a hospital and admitted where they were shot, leading an officer to collect the casings and leave without talking to anyone. After this discovery, I find out more police reports that are inaccurate, including a second shooting that appears to have occurred inside the bar. I filed an EA complaint questioning the first shooting and am contacted by an officer who wrote one of the other questionable reports. After that, I reached out to my city manager and city council saying that this conflict of interest seems strange, so I'm told to file another EA complaint. Sure enough, I am contacted by another officer whose name is on one of the reports, as well as the newly appointed head of internal affairs, who had been the captain over all these incidents. I make another complaint to my city heads that this sure seems curious, that everyone in EA is involved in all these reports. That's when one of the officers came to my front door to ask me if I have a problem. Meanwhile, one of the drunk regulars has been shining a flashlight in my windows and at my cameras at night while we're asleep. He successfully damaged the night vision on one camera in the past 1.5 years. He's been doing it up through this past weekend. I've called 911 when he's been doing it and reported it numerous times when I happened to catch him doing it, and the city manager police force say it's all in my head and just an innocent, random occurrence. I have dozens of videos of the same guy shining it directly into the cameras, blinding them. Same guy who had been harassing me in my yard a couple years ago, and I suspect the same guy who stole several bicycles out of my garage. I've been complaining to my liquor control board. I've complained to my state ag. I've even talked with the FBI and State Police Academy. Everyone seems appalled at my situation, but not a single one will respond to my calls since. It's driving me absolutely insane, being completely ignored, while this business is just encouraged to keep going wild because they know they're protected. First comment: get a lawyer. They will take this pro bono, most likely. Sounds like they did not cover their tracks, and any decent lawyer will find the rest of the incriminating evidence and basically have the city pay out a lawsuit, which the police department will then have to publicly admit is their fault. This is how you get them to stop, because the police are basically elected by the local citizens or by their city officials, who they also vote for. These aren't like countrywide elections. If you're running for a seat in a city, you have to appeal to the biggest interests there. If your chief of police is pissing off your voters by wasting their local tax dollars to pay for lawsuits, ***, they get fired pretty quickly. ***. Second comment: report it to the FBI. They handle public corruption cases. Don't listen to anyone else here. They don't know what they're talking about, and following their advice is Russian roulette with no empty chambers. Third comment: call the cap in Maxwell. They own the air rights and can suspend that PD's computer and cell service. Then the cops can't wait to address this quickly and efficiently. Colonel Klink is the Director of Professional Conduct and Transparency. Fourth comment: cops are just state-backed gangs. Bloods fly red. Kings fly black. Cops fly thin blue line.
Last story.
Being the boyfriend of a girl with gigantomastia is not as good as some imagine. I don't know if this counts as cheating. There was no third party, there was no sex, but there was a lie. Gigantomastia is a condition that causes excessive breast growth. It can be advantageous for men, yes, but it's a pain for women to have to carry 2 watermelons all the time. Back pain, shoulder pain, neck pain, not being able to sleep on their stomachs, unwanted stares, etc. I was always there for her. I knew perfectly well that other men's stares weren't her fault. And although I wanted to do something about it, I couldn't face all the onlookers when we went out. Other than that, the relationship was normal. It's not like this condition is cancer or a serious illness. And it became more bearable with the help of orthopedic bras. And let's be honest, she knew perfectly well that I liked them. And although she wished she didn't have them, she had no problem making me happy with them. The thing is, she realized their potential. She knew that boobs sell. Although some women with this condition have breasts that aren't very pleasing to the eye, hers were aesthetically pleasing, so that was another plus. After a while, I found out she had an OnlyFans account. It wasn't just that she suddenly had more money, or that I found a dildo in her clothes. It was that I had the bad luck of seeing an OnlyFans notification on her phone. Someone bought your content. Go to your account to see it. I knew she had a playful side. She loved attention. And I'd always been supportive of her embracing her body in the best way she could. But I never expected this. She never mentioned it, not once. I couldn't help it. I asked her about it, and when she turned the phone to face me, I could see the account name, the posts, the followers. The realization hit me hard. It looked like an account that was several months old. We talked about it. She explained everything, and I didn't know what to think. For now, our relationship is on hold because, even though she wasn't directly unfaithful to me, I felt cheated on. Something this important should be discussed as a couple, but she made the decision on her own. I understand it's her body and she's an adult with freedom. But she kept a secret from me, something I've never done to her.
First comment: you have to decide if you can be with a sex worker or not. It is her choice to become a sex worker, but it is also your choice to not be okay being with one. I could not be with her. Imagine if you have kids one day. Remember what goes on. The internet stays there forever. Second comment. It is not a secret. It is a very big secret. She has become a porn star, without discussing the matter with you and without asking you whether you want to be a cuck to a porn star, because once OnlyFans starts, money begins to flow. When money dries up, the urge for trying something more sexual becomes irresistible. She will then create boy-girl scenes without asking you. Then what will you do? I think you now know the answer. Third comment. If she's willing to lie to you about sexual activities online, imagine if something came about in person. Like someone else said, it will start off as just pics, etc., but as her fans realize, it's not quite worth the money. She'll do more and more lucrative things to make that income. It happens in any industry or anything we do. Easiest example is obviously, say, an alcoholic. At first it's just drinking, then it's a closet addiction. When they have no more money is when the extremes happen. Fourth comment. It's not complicated. If it's something you can't live with, end it. She's a GF, not a wife. I never told GFs what to do or what not to do. That's up to them. But if it's something I couldn't live with, I would end it. I had a manipulative GF once and she wanted to live with me. I don't live with GFs, period. I don't really want a GF around all the time. Plus, I had bought a house, so if we broke up, not like I could just leave. Anyway, she told me if she couldn't live with me that she'd have to waitress at a strip club. I told her to do what she needed to do, and I totally understand. But I wouldn't continue dating her BC, just not something I'm into. It'd be fine to have a purely sexual relationship, but nothing more. Anyway, we ended up breaking up. I don't begrudge anyone for doing what they feel they have to do to earn money. But it doesn't mean I'll be dating them.
God bless to all of you, and I hope you all enjoy these crazy stories. If you like to see more, please like, share, and subscribe.